All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're actually going to have a game for you tonight. It is Cheer League Season 3, Week 4, Day Thursday. With me, as always, is New Taipei. How you doing?
I'll be okay in a second here. All right, so
Oh my gosh.
Division 2 match here tonight. We got 5 Chen Meta versus FSG. Both these teams fresh out of their placement matches. Both with a sterling D2 record at the moment, 0-0. Both teams going 1-2 in their placement matches. So almost a perfect mirror match here tonight. And I have to call attention to the splendid team mascot / logo of 5 Chen Meta. It's something to behold here, kids. Please click on my sketchy link.
Yeah, and it is wonderful. They have a great picture. I love it. Props to them for going full in.
It's your spirit animal, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. 6.5% beer.
You can drink like what, like 3/4 of that?
Oh,
before you
shush.
fall over?
Shush. Apparently, I can drink a keg.
So we've got this Div 2 match coming up here. The map has been chosen. Synth, why don't you fill us in on that one?
Yeah, well, we're gonna have a Cursed Hollow for you guys tonight. Not Warhead Junction. Yeah,
The Zarya of maps.
yeah, it is.
Day one, nobody wants to play it. Tuesday night we had games, nobody wanted to play it. Thursday night we had games. People didn't want to play it so much they didn't even come to the Chair League match. But it's Cursed Hollow. It's a classic.
It is a classic. It is one of the largest maps in the rotation, which is everything other than Lost Caverns, I guess, right? And Haunted Mines. Actually, so technically, Haunted Mines is allowed, quote unquote.
Seriously, now that is scary to me. That one I want to see in writing because that seems like something that we'll get to the playoffs. It'll be like game 5, and someone just pulls fucking Haunted Mines out of nowhere, like Haunted Mines. But Cursed Hollow, you've got numerous ways to play this map. You've got numerous compositions that you can build. You can go for mobility and try and race to the objective, lock it down, defend from there, and prevent your opposing team from rotating. You can play global compositions with heroes like Falstad and Brightwing to enable slower rotations, but at the end of the day your whole team shows up right there at bam, 5 people. It's also got room for some of the cheekier non-traditional heroes like Abathur and Lost Vikings. Think we're gonna see any of those cheeky non-traditionals?
I mean, ever since seeing TLV and Cho'Gall together on this map, I can't. Sorry, I can't do 2 things at once. I can't talk and. Yeah, I want to see. I want to see the off meta stuff. I want to see everything. I want to see Zarya Abathur. I don't know.
The portrait game is so on point for 5 Chen Meta right now.
Oh, absolutely.
They've come to play. They ate their Wheaties. I mean, they definitely got ready for this match here tonight. Yes, Captain Murdoch. Yes, the Zarya Abba 3 support combo that graced our last theoretical game. We'll see if we can pull that one out again. No guarantees. We can't guarantee anything on the stream here. Aside from like my drinking habits, I suppose.
Yeah.
So Falstad highly contended on this map. Zagara also highly contended on this map. Hero like Brightwing is going to be absolutely invaluable. just initially here, what do you think about these teams in the potential draft that we could be looking at, Synth?
Well, with the setup of their portrait game being so strong, I have to say that they must be set up right. I mean, because this seems like it is just ready and rare in here.
So FSG also with a very, very impressive portrait synergy. We're seeing the Star-Lord Leoric along with 4 unusual Zelnaga artifacts. Very interesting. Mm-hmm. So we're going to have the pandas versus the space people, and we'll see who comes away with the win on this one here.
All right, so Captain's links are going out here in a moment.
So 5 Chen Meta is our home team. They're going to have the first ban in the first pick, and it was FSG's decision to play on Cursed Hollow here tonight. 5 Chen Meta. So in the last few days with the balance patch, the substantial balance patch that introduced Zarya and Warhead Junction 2 days ago, in that patch we saw a lot of things get tossed around. We saw a lot of things change up, and we have entered the era of the Malfurion first pick meta. Malfurion currently sitting with one of the highest win rates in the game and one of the highest first week win rates for a redesigned or launched hero. We're talking like January 16 Rhaegar levels of win rates here. This is kind of crazy.
More importantly, it is the era of Twilight Dream. I can't believe it, honestly. Like, it is a crazy time.
Seen a lot of Twilight Dream. So, all right, this draft is getting underway here. So, let's go through the usual suspects here. Falstad, think he's gonna make it out? No, sir.
Nope.
Let me answer that for you. Zagara, you think Zagara is going to make it through the first ban in the first pick phase?
I mean, maybe they'll ban ETC. We've seen a lot of ETC bans, first bans recently.
And clever ones, too. Mm-hmm. We saw a very, almost a master class in choking out tanks. And there goes Zagara. She is out. So 2 of the usual suspects sort of taken out of the mix. But Kaiser Soze is still out there. And there's no telling who he might be.
Oh, jeez.
You get that reference, I will, toss some love to you in Twitch chat.
Well, I don't, but oh my gosh, first pick nice. Medivh. Wow.
So this is interesting. We could see all sorts of stuff for the first pick Medivh. We could be going into an Illidan composition. We could be going into a
Hammer
melee composition. Hammer.
I'm calling Hammer.
You're calling Hammer? All right, mark my words. Synth is calling Hammer.
Yeah, the Medivh does enable you to pivot a bit, especially with the Illidan. Oh my gosh, there was one game we played Illidan Tassadar Medivh. That was just
pure cancer. That was the worst. It was horrible. We couldn't touch him.
Oh, it was so good though. Like, because I was playing Tassadar. Oh, it was so much fun. Anyway, ETC picked up it's the era of the first pick, first ban ETC here.
But ETC on the receiving end of some reworks this last Tuesday now has an extended slide duration on his Q, or extended slide range on his Q, as well as some other neat changes. And Li Ming is the second pick for FSG. I mean, I like Li Ming being grabbed because she's one of those really easy counters to ETC, and she synergizes very well with ETC at the same.
Yeah, ETC now with the ability at 4 to crowd surf to go over terrain, he can position, he can escape. He basically has the equivalent of a Dwarf Toss at this point, except with the added bonus of being able to stun anyone in the way. So ETC being extremely powerful, you can see as the first pick, and Murden picked up as a response. That's smart because they don't want their tanks to be choked out during the ban phase.
You don't want to go into the ban phase with, some variables on the table. At this point, neither team's picked a support. So 5 Chen Meta could do a little work here if they grab a support early on, ban out a support that really forces FSG, and they might do so. Charism is picked up by 5 Chen Meta. This is neat because Charism now has an opportunity to really go in and get the melee attacks in, get the damage in, and Medivh will be there to help bail him out with the portals. And
Well,
if they decide to go with a heavy dive composition, Charism does help support that.
I'm going to rescind my hammer call, and I'm actually going to change my opinion to Illidan at this point, because Charism, Illidan, Medivh is pretty nuts.
It's definitely doable, yeah.
So, I don't know. We'll see. Bans, though. Yeah. I was going to say, you want something, you want to cut out the ranged people. I would have liked to see a hammer ban, though. Chromie, although getting some of her range built into her base kit, it was, I think, her 7s or her 4s that gave her extra range. That's half of that distance has been baked into her base skill, and now she can shoot farther, and she can shoot into the blindness farther. I mean, she works really well with Medivh, though, because Medivh does show distance without, show area without risking anything.
Yeah, he's a nice scouting ward for your team. Helps you keeps tabs on the other team. And we see Chromie banned out by FSG, probably, as we said, in response to the Medivh to help, mitigate some of that long range poke damage.
But Zebo, Mr. Gazebo himself,
he'd be an interesting pickup here by. At least by 5 Chen Meta, because so far the primary source of damage for FSG is spell damage, and Nazebo receiving the very odd Superstition talent at 13 to help mitigate spell damage. Nazebo is banned.
Yeah, I haven't really seen him played like super effectively. Like he hasn't been like the deciding factor in any games I've looked at yet. So
Zul. Now this is good. Zul is there to make Charism's life absolutely miserable. Between the auto attack slow that he provides and the root that he provides, Charism's gonna have to be very careful to actually get any healing off on his team.
The thing is, I think they might have sniffed out the Illidan.
Yes.
Zul and Brightwing are direct counters to Illidan. So if they were predicting an Illidan pick at this point, they might have to pivot. Or sorry, 5
You can pivot though to Kerrigan, and Kerrigan does wonderfully against Zul.
But the Brightwing does negate her a little bit in terms, especially since she can't build up her shields during while she's polyed.
But Brightwing does not have a good solid like 911 I will save you heal, and I feel like they are going to go full. They're going to go full dive here. If Tyrael is being picked, they have to have one more crazy, like melee assassin.
It has to be Illidan.
Kerrigan, Illidan, potentially Greymane. Butcher. I feel like Butcher's super sketchy here. I would not pick Butcher right now.
Okay.
Because Butcher's damage has to be done. Okay, we go with the Tychus. That's interesting.
So
I feel like they're.
Well, I mean, Tyrael does a lot of damage with his smite build nowadays. They might be using him as a damage, with like a bruiser role here. So Muradin's going to be the tank. Tyrael with a bruiser role. Medivh offering backup supports and a lot of movement for the rest of the team. Tychus with his rework now being much more tanky. Health-wise, I guess.
We're gonna see Commandeer Odin.
Yeah, that's a good point. He has a base 25% resist. Sorry, is it resistant?
Yeah, it's resistance. Yeah.
Yeah. 25% of damage is nullified whenever he's in Commandeer Odin form.
That's that means a long ult with long range.
Yeah.
FSG with their last pick, they're going deep into their time pool here, taking their time to figure this one out.
Yeah, how do you counter this?
I feel like there's a lot of short range. Yes, I was gonna say there's a lot of short range heroes, and somebody with range and AOE is going to be really good here. Now, my only concern about Lunar is that Charism has AOE heals and has reliable, consistent healing through his auto attacks to help sort of mitigate that damage that she could do. But yeah, I think in this situation, you have to understand that the enemy team is probably going to be stacked on top of each other very consistently. And something like a mosh pit is going to consistently get three people in Tyrael, Muradin, and Charism. Oh, if Zagara was still on the table, I would have said Zagara in a heartbeat there.
Oh, absolutely. But yeah, this is interesting. There's a lot of health on the side of 5 Chen. 5 Chen meta is showing their their tankiness essentially.
Oh, but they're so sneaky. They didn't pick Chen.
Oh, that's true. That's true. It's they chose 5 Chens. There's 5 of them there. You can't see it, but no. The Tychus is an interesting pick. I don't know that I would have picked him.
I wouldn't have. I'll be completely frank. Now this may be a composition that these 5 players play with and are comfortable with, but in terms of synergies between the heroes, you have some dive with Tyrael, Charism, and Murden. They're able to get onto a target and isolate a target, but the follow-up damage is not substantial. It's not a big, gobsmacking burst that, like Kerrigan would be able to lay out or Greymane would be able to lay out. It's going to be this, consistent trickle-in damage from Tychus, and Medivh will likely go Master's Touch to improve his, Q damage. That's pretty good damage from Medivh, but you have to keep him alive. And that damage isn't going to come into play until the late game.
Yeah. Now the thing is, I was thinking that he might take Commandeer Odin, but on second thought, the Draken drill is actually great point defense for the objectives.
Yes. No, you're not wrong. I think it would make more sense if you're trying to fortify a position to take Draken Laser Drill. Yes.
And maybe
I feel like if you're playing against a Brightwing solo healer, you go dive heavy. You go real ham. You go like
Illidan,
Kerrigan. You go Kerrigan.
Kerrigan, that's right.
Tyrael, Illidan, one of those crew. You understand that your diver is likely going to get polyed. I mean, that's why he's got the support. He's got Charism. He's got Tyrael going in with that diver. But it's the damage. It's the follow-up damage. That big boom of damage is so much, and it's far too much for Brightwing to mitigate with her periodic 5-second heals.
All right, I'm going to pause you for 1 second. I think Heroes isn't clipping to OBS, so I need to restart OBS here.
Yep, I got you. Yeah, something's going on.
Here. Go ahead and unpause this.
All right. All right, and here we go. All right, so where were we? Steve-O has left the game. Hang on 1 second.
A hero has left the battle.
All right, so let's get the team intros over real quick. All right, so on the left-hand side here for 5 Chen Meta, repping the cool mounts and icons. We've got Franzi on the Medivh, Steve-O on the Murden, Yabba Dabba Dabba on Tyrael, Cobra 167 on Charism, and Salted Snake on Tychus. On the right-hand side here, in the red trunks, playing for Team FSG, we've got Brick House on Li Ming. She's mighty, mighty. And we got Leviathan on Lunara, J-Mark on Zul, Spo Gino on ETC, and Genzors on the Brightwing.
Yeah. So 1-3-1 actually going out. So no pro division shenanigans going on here.
But Steve-O is chilled out in the side lane. Yeah, I think they're having issues with him.
Oh, fun potatoes.
So pause is called. Yep. Steve-O.
Yeah, we need to upgrade to a. We need to upgrade to our my first computer. Are they making computer-based?
All right, so
Mattel games now?
So the fix has arrived, so we can unpause the game. And while I'm counting my money, never mind. So both teams just dancing around at this time. Take a quick glance at the talents here.
Alrighty, let's see.
Prog Rock by the ETC. I think that's a pretty good decision. Taking the block seems to be the block seems to be a really good pick for ETC at level 1, but he's going to get ground out by the the Tychus auto attacks. So Progrock's going to give his team a little extra healing to supplement that Brightwing healing. Insight build from the Monk. I love it. Holy cow.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
Seeing all sorts of fun stuff. We're seeing even in death by the Tyrael. Oh, he's expecting to get... Oh, this is so good. I love it.
Well, I mean, Tyrion's a support, right? So as a second support,
he's just like
Monk.
He's just like Uther. You want him dead first.
So really just a lot of poke going on. Zul's doing a good job at lane clearing here, but taking a lot of damage from Tychus, the other T. Some shenanigans going on in mid.
Yeah, at this point, no clear-cut advantage. I mean, Brick House is getting some chunks in on Steve-O, but with third win there, Steve-O is just not going to die. He walks away, heals up, and comes right back into the engagement. And first tribute is up, and it is in the top lane here. That's going to favor... let's see here if anybody's got a real edge here. Tychus decides to back first, and that, I think, is going to favor FSG. They've got Genzor's in the bot lane. He's going to be able to sit, soak, and port directly to his team when he feels the need and the pressure mounting at the top there.
Well, I think FSG definitely has a more early game-oriented team. Their entire team has a lot more damage in the early game here.
Well, I mean, they do get Lunar in the late game, but I feel like, yeah, Zul does taper off big time as the game goes on and the laning phase sort of ends.
So a lot of poke, a lot of positioning going on here. Li Ming trying to sneak some damage in from the top, from the, from the darkness, from beyond the terrain. And
I mean, at this point, both teams are taking some whacks, and it's going to come down to who's healer runs out of mana first. And Cobra gets into the objective, but is interrupted by Li Ming. Big power slide in, does isolate Cobra. He takes a big hit there, but does manage to sneak out. Yabba Dabba also injured. Members of Chen Meta really bruised at the moment. They're going to have to haul out here and concede this one unless, or people are going to start falling.
Yeah. Progrock not really going to be effective at this point, so he's just self-healing at this junction. But yeah, Li Ming is just chunking and just grinding down the opposing team very quickly.
Oh, the chase though, in goes the Medivh. Franzi, not afraid, does dive right in, but a big kill there. That's critical.
Yeah.
Tyrael is down. Manages to chunk Brick House, but this is even worse. Medivh is dropped, and it's a full retreat for Chen Meta.
Yeah, Tyrael completely ran out of mana. I mean, he couldn't even Q, he couldn't do anything. He was dead in the water there, and Medivh was also very similarly low on mana, and they should have walked out. They should have walked out with their lives. They unfortunately did not, and lost 2 members as a result.
This is where Power Hungry is going to come into play for Li Ming. These fights for the tributes are going to be relatively close to lanes for the most part. Well, I mean, especially that most recent one. So you're able to hop into a lane, grab a globe real quick, and then you've got 20 seconds of increased ability damage. And that's going to be huge on these fights for tributes on the fringes here.
Especially with her ability to drop her W through the terrain and hit people without them seeing it coming. I mean,
she could be in lane soaking and still be contributing to the team fight.
But ETC doing a good job of sort of making a sandwich out of 5Chen Meta here, and 5Chen has to move back a little bit in order to keep their lives.
I'd like to see better support for the Zul here. Zul is not a solo laner. Zul should be part of your rotation group, and he should be constantly moving from lane to lane, clearing and pushing with skeletons. So like right now, obviously the tribute is up, but in that situation, you clear the lane, you move to mid. Clear the lane, you move back bot. Move. Franzi does manage to get the cap out in middle here, so that is 1-1 in the tribute race, as Steve-O is chunked extensively and has to dwarf toss out. Good save from Franzi there to keep Cobra alive. He does manage to get the jump out with his Radiant Dash, and that was a good clean steal there from 5Chen Meta.
Yeah, Ravenform really doing a number, or really showing the advantage for the team there, and coming in along with the portal to actually get Tychus in to help him defend the point.
And here we go. Master's Touch picked up by Medivh. Good luck, buddy. has to hit 30 enemy heroes without dying, and it will substantially increase the damage of his Q.
Mm-hmm.
And so far, doing okay. I'll be keeping an eye on that. Karazim's Insight quest about half finished at the moment, as is ETC's Prog Rock. He's about a third of the way through there. With, let's see here, about halfway with Prog Rock, 9 of 20 globes.
Oh, that's good. That's actually doing very
big
well.
Pickup down here at Tychus. He is down, and that's a terrible timing. He is going to be out for this fight, and expect FSG to move aggressively onto this tribute in the mid lane.
Mm-hmm. But they have to be a little bit careful because actually, no. I was going to say if 5Chen could have moved three in.
That's their primary source of damage. Muradin and Tyrael are not going to have enough damage to scare the full members of FSG.
Yeah, and that's uncontested because FSG was about to hit 10s as well, so that would have been disastrous to walk into that for 5Chen.
Let's see what we've got here. Li Ming not picking just yet, but we're seeing Thornwood Vine, Poison Nova, Mosh Pit, and Emerald Wind.
Yeah, it's probably going to be Disintegration.
I like Emerald Wind because you know what that's going to be able to do? If you're standing on that Medivh portal and somebody is panicking and trying to get in, you can pop that Emerald Wind, push them right out of the way, and have a picnic while they're trying to get away. And it's Disintegrate, picked up by the Li Ming.
Yeah, unsurprising there.
She's going full-blown Q build, by the way. Charge Blast at 4 and Seeker at 7. That is unusual. That I do not typically see. You usually see Dominance at least at 4.
Yeah, she's taking much more of a poke build at this point,
Yeah.
and I think that's smart because you really don't want to be teleporting into the middle of a 5-man area, especially with the amount of control that Tyrael, Muradin have. Tyrael with his Holy Ground at 16, and Muradin with the Eternal. Actually, give him the axe, really doing.
Oh, big damage dealt onto Stevo there. He is going to have to Dwarf Toss out and roll back in once his heal starts activating. Both teams just going at it here. Medivh coming pretty close, actually, on his talents. 20 of 30 on Master's Touch. And a big engagement at below the objective there as J-Mark pops his ult. That is Poison Nova on cooldown now. Ult's being popped all over the place. Tyrael has not chosen yet. Tyrael has not picked his ult. It is level 11. He's got to make a decision before things go south for his team, and it is too late. People are going down left and right. Still no ult pick for the Tyrael as Medivh drops the Leyline Seal.
It's going to be...
Fight. Judgment is laid out, and they dive on Leviathan, but no initial follow-up. No damage. There's no damage on the follow-up, and Yabba Dabba Dabba is going to barely make it out thanks to the Medivh and Cobra.
Yeah, and...
Oh, no, is he going to make it out? He makes it out.
Wow. I was going to say... I honestly was going to say it's going to be Sanctification as he picked Judgment, so, what do I know? But Franzi barely makes it out there. They really need to just escape at this point. They can't get this. There's no chance of them getting it. It is a curse point, and so they do have to defend against a curse at this point. They are probably going to have to split their forces because you have to, figure out where the focus is. And
Medivh is dangerously close to completing the Master's Touch, and there it is, quest complete. Medivh, you can now die. That's gonna be huge for 5Chen Meta. They are gonna need this desperately to help bring down the members of FSG. They need damage. They need it desperately. Tychus has not been cutting it by himself.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna need his Master's Touch damage in order to follow up on that Judgment. I mean, Judgment is not something that does anything by itself. It stuns a person, but...
Synth, to give you an idea, Medivh has the top damage on his team currently at 21,000. Lunara has the top damage on her team with 44,000.
Yeah, they need damage desperately.
They need damage desperately right now.
And so the curse
44,000. Holy smokes.
Yeah.
That is a lot of damage for Lunara this early.
Absolutely. I mean, she's just been chunking the other team. They've been on the back foot the entire time on these team fights. It's very unfortunate.
They've got to push for 13 right now. They need a body in middle to soak up that lane. They're missing soak in the mid lane. They have 4 people at bottom. Or no, excuse me, 3 people at bottom. And, FSG moving to the Bruiser camp, I almost feel like they can afford to take their boss right now.
Yeah, they should really be moving Medivh up to try to zone a little bit. Ward.
He just did a quick check to make sure they weren't on theirs. And, I mean, I feel like there was a window there when you could see 3 members of 5 Chen Meta in the bot lane. You could have gone for your boss. 5 Chen Meta instead making the boss call. They're going for it. ETC's going to spot this, though, and they're going to have to back out.
Yeah, they were attempting to take it, but the moment that Lunara's sight came out, it was a no-go.
Going in gets chunked considerably. 2 ults used. The 7-side strike and the Poison Nova were used there, and Franzi just opening up the portals, giving people a way out there.
Yeah, saving everyone's life, really. So yeah, Salted Snake has to back out at this point. He is not in any shape to stay in this fight. They should not be taking a fight at this point. They need to re-up their HP pools.
At this point, if you're FSG, you go to your lanes, you push that top lane out, and you keep an eye on 5 Chen Meta. You look at where they're going. If you see commitment to bottom lane, you see Salted Snake there now. If you see heavy commitment to a side lane, you can go for boss now. And you do it right now. And they're going to opt instead to go to push that top fork down. That's not long for this world, with Lunara especially.
But the boss call.
Yeah, the boss call from 5 Chen Meta. If they don't sniff this out, FSG. This is gutsy play from 5 Chen Meta. They're going to put this boss down, and it is going to give them an opportunity to get back into this game, get back into the race for 16, and a really fortuitous tribute spawn in the bot lane here. They are already there.
Yep. And that sight from Lunara, that wisp from Lunara, just a second too late. Coming in right before the boss is picked up.
Yeah, Medivh able to spot the team, burns Leyline Seal and hits nobody. That's a big cooldown, 80 seconds. It's not going to be available for this team fight. He does bail Stevo out with a big force of will there, saving the day. But the fight is pressuring, and the boss is hitting that bot lane.
Yep, Stevo, has to pop his ult at the last second there before.
Burning Avatar as the... I do believe it was 5 Chen Meta. Yeah, 5 Chen Meta does manage to snag the tribute and the boss, and this is the time where I just don't think they have the time to get to the top lane. And Lunara is already expecting this. The Wisp going directly to FSG's boss, and they are anticipating a sort of counter boss swing here.
But they showed 3. They showed 3 at the point.
They showed 3, and they showed the vision, So, they showed them capping the vision. FSG knows where the majority of 5 Chen Meta is, and they know at this time that they're not going for the boss. So this is a critical tribute. 5 Chen Meta can afford to give this. I would love to see them go for boss right now. I would love to see them make that call, because FSG has got to be all hands on deck.
Perfect.
Yes, there they go. So they've got to dive on this super fast. They've got to do this right now. Maybe Medivh to poke it down and interrupt. But here we go. Yes, I love it. I love this idea.
Wow, he actually fakes it. He actually fakes the portal to try to get them to move out of the way.
He's got to slow here. He's got to make some dismounts. He's got to do everything in his power to keep them from that boss. But this looks like it's gonna finish. They get it. What a bold call from 5 Chen Meta to get this boss to concede the 1 tribute. And now it's going to be, a couple seconds between that tribute being capped and the next one spawning. But if they push with this boss and they keep it healthy, they're going to be in great position to advance and pick up the tribute for this next for the next curse phase. I'd like to see them push with this boss. I'd like to see them take a team fight here. ETC in really deep, a half-cocked ult from the Charism, though, catches nobody. And we see 5 Chen Meta with a fighting retreat, getting out of the way of the onslaught of FSG.
Yeah, FSG doesn't really need to clean up much on the boss at this point. It'll go down at the keep forts.
Yeah, I mean, Lunara will kill this before it even gets to the keep.
Yeah, so they're disengaging. I would have liked to see more of a chase on that, though. But FSG isn't in a bit of a advantage right now.
But this is a great position for them. Lunara had to disengage completely. Where'd she go? Oh, there she is.
Yeah, she's just grabbing a drink real quick. And
But yeah, they're already in position. 5 Chen Meta does not have the means of interrupting this. Stevo goes in, but he's too late, and now he is way out of position. He's no way out, has no dwarf toss, pops the avatar, and may be able to toss to get to that portal, and does. Great save from Franzi, but
it's not going to be enough.
It might be. Nope. The rest of the team had already disengaged. Karazim was already in the mid lane, and Cobra at 167 has left the game. So let's give that a pause real quick here, and give them time to get back in. Maybe.
I'll pause it.
All right, good call.
Yeah. So yeah, the potatoes, right? So anyway, interesting fights already so far. A lot of great shot calling in terms of the boss picks.
Yeah, I think that
taking advantage of good timings. Lunara on point with her wisp, though, really sniffing out. She actually did deny one boss take with just the fact that her wisp came around.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that was.
So so let's talk about Medivh's portals.
Been pretty solid so far.
Yeah.
Let's pull up the talent trees in general here.
Mm-hmm.
We're seeing imposing presence on the ETC, which is fantastic against Tychus and Karazim. Give him the axe as well from the Muradin, so that's going to help slow down that ETC damage. We saw Giant Killer from the Lunara instead of the typical unfair advantage, which is a good selection in my opinion. And Let Them Wither as well at 16. So Crippling Spores is going to slow even more, and it no longer decays. So we're looking at an extended long-term slow, which is going to give the members of FSG a long time to catch up to and smack down the members of 5 Chen Meta. Mm-hmm. Every individual has completed their quest talents so far. Prog Rock is completed. Master's Touch was completed, as we noted, and Insight was completed for the monks. So everybody's at basically their peak as far as quest talents are concerned.
Yeah, I'd like to point out that the decay mechanic for slows actually very adversely impacts Li Ming's Q. Li Ming, in order to drop her Q, especially on ranged targets, she needs to know where the person's gonna be in a second or two. The slow decay, where you're at 30%, 40%, and then you decay back down to 20 or 10.
Let's I think we're back.
Yep.
All right. There we go.
It makes it a lot easier for Li Ming to actually aim her Qs with the solid slow instead of the decay, basically. So I mean, it might be aimed towards that. It might just be they want more slows, maybe to keep the people in her disintegrate for longer. I mean, either way, I just think that it's a good talent for this particular build, for this particular comp.
I personally would have liked to see the attack speed at 16, giving Lunara a faster attack speed to get more auto attacks out and get those Giant Killer stacks in. But if they're feeling confident with Let Them Wither, they can certainly get value out of that and help enable their other damage even more.
Mm-hmm. Actually, it might just be to keep them from escaping through those portals.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, the portals used to great effect there to escape, and
FSG cleans up that top tribute, and it is their turn with the curse. So they are laying in. In goes the ETC. Great mosh pit. Leyline Seal a little bit late there, and Tychus is down. I mean, there goes all of their damage.
Yeah, I mean, Medivh is a bit of damage, but it's not going to be enough to repel the entirety of FSG here.
So Lunara has done as much damage as the entire rest of 5 Chen Meta. I'm not kidding. Look at the numbers.
Yeah, her hero damage is just nuts.
Yeah, she's been all over the place. So pushing in on this keep, it is going to go down 100%. There's no way you walk away from this. And that is the first keep of the game. Bot lane also severe pressure with a pair of Siege Giants down there. And it's really starting to come apart here for 5 Chen Meta under the power of that curse. Wow.
Yeah.
Three keeps, 1 curse.
And an offensive, defensive 7-sided there popped to try to save his own life. And he was successful in that. But they're going to grab the Siege Giants, and they're going to continue the push here, because if you look, only the mana is partially down for Lunara. Everyone else is still in pretty good shape, and we're going to probably pause again.
Oh, somebody left again? Oh, Cobra left again.
Mm-hmm.
No?
No?
Don't need a pause? Cobra's back? We're good? Okay. We'll be going again. But level 20 was picked up in that fight, and we're seeing Tour Bus. Tour Bus by the ETC, and some other fun things. We're seeing Storm Shield and Temporal Flux from the Li Ming. So they're really going to be slowing everybody. Leyline OP, pausing the game. Yeah.
So
ETC in the backfield here manages to isolate Tyrael and Tychus. That slow paying dividends for the Li Ming. Able to get in and put a heap of damage in is Leviathan. And you know, this is getting pretty dire for 5 Chen Meta here.
Yeah, FSG is really positioning to
they're
get the boss.
posturing so hard for boss right now. And there's not much 5 Chen Meta can do about it until they get their level 20 Storm talents.
Well, what they can do about it is send Medivh, because
Blade of Justice at 16? Blade of Justice at 16 for Tyrael? I just looked down at this now.
Oh.
Where's the Holy Ground? Holy cow.
Well, I mean,
their team is not mobile. Like if you pinch Zul off, or if you pinch Lunara off, she doesn't have a teleport or, you know, a slide to get out of it. Oh, that I don't know how I feel about that, buddy.
Well, I think that they're far enough ahead that it doesn't matter. Because if you look right now, they're actually going to be pushing with a boss at this point.
But I meant on 5 Chen Meta.
Oh, on 5. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, actually, that's a good point. I know that they do have Muradin to control the point, or control, not the point, control.
Yeah, but like there's so many narrow areas, like this pinch right here.
Oh
boy, yeah.
Li Ming picked off early there.
Li Ming is killed. Holy cow.
But they've been doing a great job of staying on equal talent tiers here. I mean,
and they got a curse. I mean, if they're gonna win the game, if they're gonna make any sort of comeback, this is exactly where it needs to be. It has to happen right now, and it so far has not been happening. Cobra 167 getting chunked to the extreme, taking heaps of Lunara damage. May not actually be able to save himself, and that is a disaster. The momentum is immediately stifled for 5 Chen Meta, as you've got 4 members of FSG swooping down on the members of 5 Chen Meta. They have to actually back to protect their core from a boss, that boss that they picked up in top.
Yeah, that boss is doing a number.
This curse is completely wasted, unfortunately.
Yeah, 64%. So, I heard another hero has left the battle here. Hopefully, everyone's still in. I think everyone's still in.
You get a limited number of timeouts, like in.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it. Sorry, you used all your timeouts.
Yeah, that was a great boss pickup earlier on. Great call from FSG. I was gonna say that, you know, 5 Chen is playing from behind here, but they're not that far behind. This is still.
I don't know. They managed to push their lanes out during that curse phase. I will say that. But
yeah.
There is a timer on the match right now, and the clock is ticking, and the clock is counting down ever so faster. With Muradin down now, you're seeing FSG pushing to take the bottom boss, and this boss has the potential to end the game.
Oh, absolutely.
If FSG pushes with this, FSG wins the game. Franzi getting a little aggressive, gets caught by the mosh pit and blown up. Oh, that was so cheeky, but that was so critical. He's down for a full minute, and you've got a boss pushing now, and that's half of 5 Chen Meta's damage.
No, this is game ending right here.
Oh,
I mean,
that was so cheeky, but at the same time, at what cost?
Completely worth it. The
mosh was totally worth it. That was the correct call, 100%. You get the 1 kill you need, and now it's a 5-on-3 for 20 seconds.
Absolutely, yeah. The boss here is just going to support this last push. It's a 3-on-5, or it's a 5-on-3 with a boss pushing. There's no keeps left.
And it's a 5-on-2 now, buddy.
Yeah, it might be GG here.
This is absolutely GG. There's no way to really mitigate this sort of damage on the board. And with that final,
Wind.
Poison Nova there, that is going to be it. GG, as FSG takes the day, getting their first win of their Division 2 careers here. Congratulations to FSG.
Congrats indeed. That was very well done in terms of picking up the boss correctly in the right timing. And Lunara, look at that.
Cow. Can we
hero
talk about
damage.
that?
Yeah. Let's talk about Lunara for a second.
108,000 hero damage from Lunara.
Holy crap.
And I wasn't kidding. Earlier in the game, there was a point where I pulled up the side, I pulled up the menu, and it was like 20,000 for Medivh, 22,000 for Tychus, and then like 10,000, 10,000 to 8,000.
Yeah.
And then I looked down at Lunara, and it was like 75,000 damage. So that was absolutely brutal. The tanks just got absolutely shredded by that Lunara damage, and the giant killer, the poison, it all added up over time and was just absolutely brutal. They never got a hold of her. 0 kills on that Lunara.
Yeah, they did a really good job for only having two kills on the opposing team. They did a really good job of keeping up in terms of XP.
Yeah, they kept in the game.
Yeah, they really did. I really have to give them props for that.
FSG was sort of in the driver's seat for the most part, but you were never, you were in the passenger seat. You weren't tied up in the trunk. There's some games where you end up tied up in the trunk, and that's just how it goes. But
get taken for a ride for reals.
But
sorry.
Gotta say, buddy, I just did not like the draft from 5 Chen Meta. I thought, okay, they got Muradin material. They're going for a super crazy dive. Their last pick is going to be a big burst damage dealer that's going to, benefit from having divey tanks. And they picked Tychus against a single tank.
Well, they picked Tychus and Judgment. I mean, I think that's a little bit of a mistake here. I know, Medivh has the ability to bail them out with his portals. So, you can Judgment in and then have Medivh set up his portals out so that you can disengage if you're losing the battle. And that's something that I can see happening if you didn't have Tychus. If you had somebody, Kerrigan, Illidan, Butcher.
I think the damage. I think you can afford to switch out the Medivh and switch out the Tychus. Honestly. I think you need a harder engagement composition. They were so set up for support the Illidan or support the Kerrigan. Yeah. They were so set up for that. I thought 100% that's what they were going to go for with their last pick.
Well, I mean, even with Zul and Brightwing counter picking to try to sniff it out. I mean, I honestly thought you're absolutely correct. I honestly thought that this was going to be a support the diver build going on from
Zul does not do well against Kerrigan. He actually does not do well against Kerrigan. He has no escapes, and his root is not the best against her.
And he summons things to feed her.
Yeah,
I mean, come on.
Yeah, I feel like 5 Chen Meta lost this one in the draft. Their composition just does not have the damage to deal with the members of FSG. If FSG had drafted a 2-tank composition, I would have felt a little bit better about 5 Chen Metas, a little bit better about their draft. But with Tychus, you're just not going to do the damage to Lunara to actually kill her. You're not going to do the damage to Li Ming to actually kill her. I mean, you're doing damage to the Zul and you're doing damage to the ETC, but you're not getting rid of the dangerous parts of FSG's team, and that was the name of the game. The dangerous members of FSG were allowed to really go to town and do the damage that they needed to do. Li Ming, Lunara, and to another, a lesser extent, Zul. I feel like this was I feel like this one was lost in the draft there, buddy.
Yeah. Interesting. By the way, I want to point out ETC picked loudspeakers at 4. That's really good for the portals, by the way. I saw it a few times where he knocked the person trying to reach the portal back out of the way.
Really good observation there. Really clever one, too. And
Yeah.
face smelt to slow enemies hit by the.
There's so many slows. There were so many slows on the on-site of FSG. I mean, I feel like everyone was saddled with a saddlebag.
Running around with bricks in their pants.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I was really surprised.
And Greater Polymorph picked up by Brightwing instead of the vulnerability. That's very. I mean, it's very anti-Illidan. I mean. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They're damaged. They're damaged. That's what's killing me here. Like Medivh, you're dependent upon the Master's touch, and you're dependent upon him like putting himself in danger to get damage.
Mm-hmm.
And Tychus just does not do well against a single tank when they're laying into him with like Li Ming skill shots and all that other stuff.
Yeah. They did have a chance of a comeback later on when they killed Li Ming during that objective pickup, and unfortunately they were not able to capitalize it with Cobra falling shortly after.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, that actually was huge because that set them on a respawn roulette that FSG was able to keep spinning. And then they got another pick, and then they went to the boss, and then they got another pick, and now it's a 5-on-2 with boss pushing core. Like, that was actually a really critical juncture. 5 Chen Meta could have spun the game back around because they got curse right then too.
Yeah.
They got the curse, and then they started losing people slowly, and the curse was completely burned out by FSG. No building damage was done, and then a boss was pushing down their core. It's rough.
Yeah, it's rough. I mean, they were keepless. That's really what hurt them at that point was they were down all of their structures. It was just the core left. And 5 Chen Meta had a boss barreling down on them. They had to take a defensive... Well, no, it's not even defensive curse at that point. You would have done better to give up the curse and try to push out the lanes a little bit to sort of establish your position on the field, because otherwise you have no field control. And... the point of this map is field control and is control, period. So they did have a comp that was able to control the points, but you actually saw it with them keeping up in the XP, but it was just not enough damage to the opposing hero team to sort of control the team fights. That was the part that they lost out on.
Yeah, when the team fights happened, the house of cards sort of fell apart there.
Yeah.
So good games. 5 Chen Meta, they're 0-1 right now, but we wish them the best of luck in their match next week. And FSG, congratulations. They'll be going forward with a batting 1,000 in Division 2 here. So
undefeated.
Yeah, undefeated. Oh man.
Yeah. So props to shout out to Lunara for one thing. Leviathan did a great job on.
Very much so
on Lunara. And GG everyone. If you like the cast you heard tonight, be sure to follow us on Twitch, and I'm also on YouTube and the Chair League site as well. If you go to chairleague.com/ I believe it's user/synthparadox, or I should probably check that before I start talking, huh?
Mm-hmm. Well, he's checking that. If you like the teams that you saw here tonight, you can go to the Chair League match page for this specific match. Slide down to the bottom there and click on the respective team, and it'll take you to their homepage, and you can follow them, give you notifications when they're about to play again, give you an idea, how they're doing throughout the season, and you can do a similar thing, same thing for us, the casters here.
Yeah, /users/synthparadox. And if you see synthparadox anywhere, that's probably me. So, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, everything. So, with that, that's the last cast we have for this week. Join us again next week for week 5 of season 3 of Chair League. So, have a good night, everyone.
Cheers.